As a property investor that has built an 11 property portfolio over the last 3.5 years, I've figured out what is the most important thing in getting growth in your property portfolio. And getting growth in your property portfolio, the majority of money that you will make in your property portfolio is from the market growing. I mean, you can make a lot of money from renovations, you can make a lot of money from upgrading your property, but the reality is, if the market that you're in is terrible, you will not make anywhere near as much money as if you invest you invest your money into a property that is on the upward trajectory of its market cycle. Generally, properties go through market cycles every 10 years. And what I like to do when I invest in properties, I like to get a good understanding of how these market cycles are working in whatever area I'm choosing to invest in. And I like to invest counter-cyclically. So I buy properties when no one else is buying, because a lot of people don't actually look at the long-term trajectories of market cycles in property markets. I like to look at these market cycles, and if you understand the market cycles, you can get a good idea of where that market cycle is at. And the best time to buy in any market cycle is obviously just before it goes up, because once it starts going up, I'll just say it's better to invest before the market starts going up opposed to when it starts going up. And the reason for that is because you can make a lot of money in property if you know how to negotiate property. And you have a lot more leverage in the negotiation if the market hasn't started to take off yet. Because you are not, when you start the negotiation in a market that hasn't taken off yet, you don't have any competition. So you have the most power to negotiate that price down from, and the difference is, it's much easier when you don't have any competition. It is much easier to purchase a property below the market value. And what I mean by that is, say, the market value of a property might be, at the start of the market cycle, might be $300,000, for example. But once the market has started to take off, that property might be $310,000, and say that's in a year period. The market is stagnant, it hasn't taken off yet, and it's 300 grand, and then the market takes off, say 12 months later or so, or 6 months, it doesn't matter, and then the property is priced at 610 and the market's taken off. Now let's just talk about before the market has taken off and that situation when it comes to negotiation. So there's a very good chance that if you're good at negotiating, you can get that property before the market's taken off, even though the market value says it's $300,000. It's a very good chance you can get it for far below that $300,000 market price, just because you don't have any competition. So what I mean is that $300,000, you could, instead of buying that $300,000 property at market value, you could buy it at, say, 280 or 250 or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but you have a higher chance of getting a discount on that property, opposed to buying that property when the market is taken off. There is a very slim chance you can get any discount on the property at all, because at the point when the market takes off, there is far more competition. Everyone understands, everyone knows that the property market is starting to get hot in that area, and they are not going to accept low ball offers or anything like that. So understanding market cycles for me has made me the most amount of money in property. And to give you an example, one of the properties that I just recently sold, I bought it for $165,000, and it was in Wembley in Perth. It was a one-bedroom apartment, and I bought this property 3 years ago, and it was valued, or sorry, it wasn't. I think that was probably worth around 180, but I bought it because the market hadn't taken off yet. I bought it for $165,000. Today is 3 years later. I sold the property for 190. Well, sorry, I sold it for 391,000. So in a 3-year period, the property it it almost quadrupled. Like, that's crazy, right? Usually people are pretty happy if their property doubles every 7 to 10 years. This is more than doubled in a 3-year period. So this is outperformed. It's outperformed what anyone would expect a normal property performance to be over by like a 9 times. Okay, so what I mean by that is it's like in a 3-year period, say if you want your property to double from 165,000 to 320 or 330,000 over a 10-year period, I've done that in a 3-year period, but more. So that's more than a 9x on what the outcome is that any normal person would expect. So that is what I mean when I say understanding the market cycles is the most important thing in investing in property. So hopefully this video helped, and if you have any more questions about investing in properties here in Australia or anything that you'd like me to answer, just write in the comments. And if you haven't already and you like this content, just subscribe. I appreciate that, guys. Bye.